Hey everyone, today I want to share a story that still sends shivers down my spine. A few months ago, to save money, I moved into an old apartment building on the edge of town. The kind of place with paper-thin walls and pipes that constantly made strange noises. I didn't think much of it at the time, figured cheap was good enough. The place seemed clean enough, but there was this constant foul smell wafting up from under the kitchen floor, like wet wood mixed with something rotten, truly disgusting. The landlord brushed it off, calling it just old building stuff, and told me not to worry. I figured maybe the smell would fade after a while. Looking back now, that smell felt like the very beginning of hell. About 3 weeks in, out of boredom, and maybe a creeping sense of unease, I noticed a loose baseboard behind the stove. It looked like someone had recently jammed it back into place. On a strange impulse one night, I pried it open. Behind it was a narrow space, barely big enough for a person to crawl through. The disgusting smell hit me with overwhelming intensity from inside, thick enough to make me gag. It was pitch black inside, so I turned on my phone's flashlight and shone it into the corner, revealing a small metal box. It was rusted and dented, but surprisingly, unlocked. At first, I thought it might be old wiring or some forgotten junk left by a previous tenant. However, when I opened it, filled with a mix of curiosity and trepidation, I found it packed with notebooks. The pages were water damaged, stuck together, but the writing was still clearly legible. At that moment, my heart started to pound. I opened the first notebook, the first entry dated April 2017. The handwriting was messy, conveying a sense of panic. The very first line sent a chill down my spine. I think someone is living in the walls. Not a metaphor. I hear breathing behind the cabinets. It stops when I listen too hard. At first, I actually laughed, thinking it was some artistic writing or a prank. But curiosity compelled me to keep reading. As I went further into the journal, the descriptions became more detailed. Scraping sounds coming from behind the bedroom walls. Small items mysteriously going missing. Milk cartons half empty when he swore he hadn't touched them. Faucets turning on by themselves after he'd fallen asleep. Then, he started hearing the breathing again, followed by heavy footsteps in the ceiling, always around 3:12 a.m. exactly on time, every single night. Reading this, my body froze. Because I had already started hearing the exact same noises. My mind went into overdrive. Was it just my imagination? Was the journal making me paranoid? But what terrified me the most? The final journal entry, just a few lines, but each word felt like a nail driven into my heart. They only come when you know. Once you realize they're real, it's like they can sense it. Like they feed on attention. If you're reading this, you've already heard them. I slammed the notebook shut, my blood turning to ice, my skin deathly cold. That night, at exactly 3:12 a.m., not a second off, I woke up to the sound of creaking above my bed. I didn't dare move, barely even breathed. The sound was so specific. Slow, careful footsteps. Like someone crawling in the ceiling. They stopped directly above my bedroom door. Then, I heard the breathing. Heavy. Wet. Like someone with a severe chest infection. Right above me. I lay there, sweating, rigid, for nearly 40 minutes, listening to the sound of something waiting directly above me. The next morning, I desperately tried to convince myself it was just a dream. Until I opened the fridge. The milk carton was open. I was certain it was sealed the day before. I hadn't touched it at all. I immediately threw out all the notebooks and sealed the crawlspace completely with screws and plaster. But every night since, 3:12 a.m., like clockwork. Footsteps. Breathing. And sometimes, the faint sound of paper rustling. I think they might be looking for their journal.